Let's be real. You think you're waiting for the right time, but that time is literally rotting right under your feet. You're not stuck in a job. You're cozying up in a safety net while your potential suffocates. And while you wind down at 6 p.m., the version of you who actually wins is just clocking in for their second shift. Look, this isn't about making more money. It's about that gut punch of shame you feel when you absolutely know you're capable of more, and you choose the couch anyway. Welcome to the One More Hour. So let's get one thing straight. You don't lose it all in some big, dramatic failure. It doesn't work like that. It's a slow leak, a quiet death by 1,000 tiny choices. It's the choice to scroll social media instead of reading that book, the choice to consume another series instead of creating your own project. Every single one of those comfortable minutes is a vote. It's a vote for the mediocre person you swore you would never become. And yeah, it feels like rest, it feels like balance, but if you zoom out, you know what it really looks like? It looks like surrender. So how do we stop the bleeding? Look, this isn't some feel-good motivational talk. This is an architectural plan to rebuild your ambition. First, we're going to expose the biological trap your brain sets to keep you average. Then, we'll calculate the true cost of comfort. Third, we install a whole new operating system, the voluntary suffering ratio. Fourth, I'm giving you a concrete 7-day reset. And finally, we get to the final choice. Okay, Section 1. To win any war, you have to know your enemy. And right now, the biggest enemy standing between you and your goals is that 3-pound chunk of tissue between your ears. Your brain isn't broken, let's be clear. It's just running on seriously outdated software. You need to understand this. This is the core mechanic of your self-sabotage. It's called dopamine baseline drift. Here's how it works. Every time you pick the easy option, scrolling, ordering takeout, binging a show, you get a tiny, cheap hit of dopamine. But the more you do it, the higher the price of feeling good becomes. Your baseline for what feels pleasurable gets jacked up so high that normal, necessary, difficult work starts to feel like absolute torture. Your brain isn't looking for happiness anymore. It's just desperately trying to get back to a baseline you've ruined with cheap thrills. And that's the real kicker. We don't have a productivity crisis. We have a comfort crisis. Our entire world is engineered to be easy, to be convenient. And what's the result? We've become biologically sedated. The very friction we need for growth has been sanded down to almost nothing. And when everything is easy, you become weak. You become fragile. And this lays out the conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got your brain's ancient programming. It has one job: survive today. That means conserve energy, avoid anything that feels like pain, and seek comfort at all costs. But on the other side, that's your future. That's the legacy you claim you want to build. And it demands the exact opposite. It demands you invest energy, that you endure friction, and that you intentionally, strategically reject comfort. I want you to really think about this for a second. That deep, soul-crushing exhaustion you feel at the end of the day, the one you feel after relaxing on the couch for 3 hours, that's not because you're overworked. It's the biological alarm bell of inaction. Your mind and body are screaming for a meaningful challenge, and you keep feeding them empty calories of distraction. That feeling of being tired all the time, it's a symptom of an unused life. All right, Section 2, enough of the theory. Let's look at how this poison actually works in the real world. Let's talk about a guy you probably know, or maybe a guy you might be becoming. His name is Elias, and his story is a perfect case study in the slow-motion death of greatness. So who is Elias? Well, on paper, he's exactly who you're supposed to want to be, the golden boy. He had the 6-figure job, he was respected, seen as the super reliable guy who always delivered. He had the stability, the house, the whole package that everyone else is chasing. But here's the catch. He was paying a price he didn't even know he was being charged. Every single night, those critical hours from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., he called them his recovery time. But it wasn't recovery. It was numbing. He wasn't building a future. He was just escaping the present. He became a connoisseur of comfort, the perfect ergonomic chair, the best streaming service, the fastest food delivery. And in all that perfectly optimized comfort, he just vanished. He became a highly paid ghost in his own life. He had all the resources in the world to build an empire, but he never generated enough friction to even forge a crown. And the tragedy wasn't some big failure. It was the chilling, quiet realization that his life was just fine. And let me tell you, fine is where ambition goes to die a quiet, respectable death. Then one night, he's staring at his dark laptop screen after the show he was watching ended, and he catches his own reflection. And in that moment, it all hits him. He asks himself the one question that haunts every high achiever who's settled for a paycheck instead of their potential. Is this it? Is this all there is? The problem wasn't that he failed. The problem was he never even started. Okay, section 3. Elias's story is a warning. Now we're going to install the software update that prevents it from becoming your story. This is your new operating system. I need this to sink in. Every single time you choose the easy way out, you're not getting away with anything. You're taking out a high-interest loan on your future self. And that debt always gets collected. It's not paid back in money. It's paid back in regret, in missed opportunities, in the absolute agony of the question, what if? So this brings us to the new metric, your new KPI for life. It's called the voluntary suffering ratio. And it's simple. Stop measuring your days by how much comfort you gained. Start measuring them by how much friction you chose to endure. Your growth as a leader, as a builder, as a human is directly proportional to the amount of discomfort you are willing to walk into on purpose. So what's your ratio? Are you investing in friction or borrowing from your future with comfort? So how do you apply this? With the 180-degree rule. It's dead simple. Whenever your body and your brain tell you to rest, you find friction. When your colleagues are all winding down for the evening, you're winding up for your second shift, the shift that actually matters. If you want the results that only 1% of people get, your daily habits have to look absolutely insane to the other 99%. All right, here's your first assignment. I want you to look at this audit table, and I want you to do it tonight. Track your evening hours. Be brutally honest with yourself. Are your choices putting you deeper into comfort debt, or are they actual investments in your future? The numbers won't lie. So tell me, are you a builder or are you a borrower? Section 4. The action plan. We've had enough theory. It is time to execute. This is your 7-day blueprint to rewire your brain and shift your identity from a passive employee to the active founder of your own damn life. Listen, motivation is garbage. It comes and goes. You don't need motivation, you need a system. Here it is. 1, the 5-minute rule. Don't commit to working for an hour. Just commit to starting for 5 minutes. Anyone can do 5 minutes. Your goal is just to break the inertia. 2, a physical state break. The second your day job is over, you need a hard reset. 20 push-ups, a blast of cold water on your face. Something physical to signal to your body and brain that the game has changed. 3, anchor your identity. This is huge. Stop saying, I'm trying to start a business. Start saying, I am a founder. Your day job is just funding your real mission. We'll get to 4 and 5 next. Okay, this is how you execute step 4, the friction audit. See, success isn't about willpower. It's about engineering an environment where the right choice is the easiest choice. So ask yourself these questions tonight. Is your workspace for your 1 more hour preps and ready to go before you even finish your dough job? Are your phone notifications silenced? Not on vibrate, off. Do you have one single crystal clear goal written down for that hour? Is your first task so ridiculously simple that it feels stupid not to do it? Your job is to make starting frictionless. And that brings us to the final section. We've broken down the problem. We've laid out the blueprint. Now it all comes down to a simple choice. And this isn't a lifestyle decision. This is a mortal ultimatum for the person you have the potential to become. I want you to look 10 years into the future. Right now, 2 versions of you exist. Version A is the builder. This person used that 1 more hour. They embraced friction every single day. Yeah, they're tired, but it's the exhaustion that comes from creating something, from living fully. They are unrecognizable from the person they were. Then there's version B, the ghost. This person stayed comfortable. They were always almost ready. They never failed in a big way. They just faded away. They just ran out of time. And here's the brutal, beautiful simplicity of it all. The gap between the builder and the ghost, between the life you want and the one you're settling for. It's not a giant chasm. It's not years of sacrifice. It is 60 minutes. It is a decision that you make for just 60 minutes every single day. So this is the final, inescapable truth. One of these versions of you has to die so the other one can live. You either kill the comfortable, quiet ghost of your potential right now, or you let it kill the builder you were always meant to be. The choice is yours. The clock is ticking. So I'll ask you one last time. Which one will you kill?